Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you being here today. If you're new, thanks for joining us. This is where we share real stories that hit close to home. And today's story, well, it's one I never thought I'd tell out loud. My name is Frank, and if there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's this. Being a stepfather can feel like one of the loneliest roles a man can take on. I know that sounds blunt, maybe even a little bitter, but if you've ever stood in my shoes, you understand exactly what I mean. You show up. You give your energy, your time, your love, sometimes even more than you think you have. You try to fill a gap someone else left behind, hoping that consistency and kindness will be enough. That love will be enough. But there are moments where all that effort just vanishes into thin air, like it was never seen, never valued. I came to that realization one Christmas night, sitting at a dinner table full of people I once considered my whole world. And it was right then and there that I made a decision, one that shocked everyone. Let's rewind a little, back to the beginning. The first time I met Sophia, the woman who'd later become my wife, she came across as smart, driven, independent. She carried herself with that kind of quiet strength that made you feel like she had it all together. Back then, there wasn't a single red flag. She seemed like any other single woman out here trying to make sense of life. We started dating. Nothing rushed. Just two people taking the time to really get to know one another. And somewhere along the line I fell for her, hard. But there was something I didn't know. Sophia had a daughter, a little girl named Carrera, 4 years old at the time, living with Sophia's parents in another city. Sophia hadn't told me right away, and I won't lie. I was surprised when I finally found out. Not because she had a child, but because she kept it from me for so long. One evening, she finally opened up about it. She told me how she got pregnant in her late teens. The guy she loved back then turned his back on her when she told him. Denied the child outright. Said there was no way the baby could be his. Crushed her. Eventually, he did come around and admit Carrera was his, but by then it was too late. He'd already shown her who he was. A man tangled in bad choices, legal issues, and zero responsibility. Sophia made the hard call to keep him out of their lives. And honestly, I respected that. I didn't see her as damaged or bringing baggage. I saw her as a survivor, someone who went through the fire and came out stronger. That night, I told her something important. If we were going to build a future together, I wouldn't just be her partner. I'd be a presence in Carrera's life too. I meant every word of that. But I also didn't fully understand what I was signing up for. After we got married, I encouraged Sophia to bring Carrera to live with us permanently. I thought it made sense, we were a family now. She agreed and we made the arrangements. When Carrera finally moved in, those first months were beautiful. She was sweet, curious, and full of energy. I dove into fatherhood with everything I had. She wasn't my biological daughter, but I loved her like she was. 2 years later, Sophia and I had our own child together. Carrera's little sister. You might think that changed the family dynamic, but I was intentional from day one. Both girls would always get equal love from me. Whether it was tucking them in at night, helping with school projects, planning birthday parties, I treated them the same. I didn't want either of them to feel like one was more mine than the other. We weren't rich, but we were stable. And knowing how fast kids grow up and how brutal college debt can be, I decided to start college funds for both girls. Quietly. I didn't even tell Sophia. I just opened 2 separate accounts and deposited the same amount into each, month after month, year after year. I was playing the long game, planning for a future I truly believed in. But then the shift began. When Carrera hit her teenage years, something in her changed. The warm little girl who used to run up and hug me when I came home from work now barely made eye contact. She'd gone cold, distant. At first, I chalked it up to typical teen behavior. But I kept showing up. I stayed involved, stayed patient. Then one day, I learned the truth. Through a whisper from someone else, not from her. Carrera had been secretly talking to her biological father. When I confronted Sophia, she admitted it. Said he'd somehow gotten her number and reached out. That he claimed to want a relationship again. And when I asked why I wasn't told, she just gave me that look, the kind that makes your stomach sink. He's still her father, she said. And maybe it's good for her to know him. Felt like a slap in the face. After everything I'd done, I was still just the stepdad. Not even worth a heads up. From that point on, Carrara's behavior grew colder. No matter how much I tried, how much I gave, how present I was, I could feel her pulling away. Still I didn't stop. Kept showing love. Kept doing right by her. I told myself, one day she'll see. One day she'll understand what I meant to her life. When her 17th birthday came around, I wanted to make it special. I spent weeks trying to find the right gift. Eventually I bought her a brand new Honda Civic. Safe, reliable, fuel efficient, everything a first car should be. I paid the insurance up front and made sure it was registered in her name. I thought she'd be thrilled. Instead, she stared at the car like it was an insult. No joy. No gratitude. Just a cold, disappointed look. Then she said, "Where's the Benz?" First I thought it was a joke. But she was serious. Months earlier, she'd shown me a picture of a Mercedes GLC and said that was her dream car. I never imagined she actually expected me to buy her a luxury vehicle at 17. I tried to explain that the Civic was a smart, safe choice, that it would serve her well through college and beyond. But none of it mattered. All she saw was that she didn't get what she wanted. From that day on, it was like she held a grudge. Everything I did after was filtered through the lens of that one moment. I tried talking to Sophia about it. Told her how hurt I was by the reaction. But she brushed it off. "She's a teenager," she said. "Don't take it personally." But I did take it personally. Because when someone you love treats your love like it's disposable, it is personal. Things got worse. Carrara started staying out late, ignoring curfews, brushing off our concerns. I try to talk to her calmly. Say things like, "Let us know where you are. We just want you safe." But she'd snap back. "You're always trying to control my life." One night, I tried warning her about some of the guys she was hanging around. Guys I knew had reputations. All I said was, "Be careful who you trust." She fired back with something I'll never forget. "Why do you even care? You're not my real father." That sentence hit harder than any punch ever could. But the worst came later, after she lied about where she was and came home well past midnight. I confronted her, tried to keep calm. And she looked me in the eye and said, "Even my real dad doesn't act like you. You're doing too much for a stepfather." And Sophia, she stood there, silent. No correction. No support. Nothing. That moment broke something in me. That silence from the woman I married. That silence was louder than any insult. It told me I was in this alone. Fighting for a family that didn't want me to fight for them. Eventually, Kara went off to college. And despite everything, a small part of me still hoped. Still believed that distance and maturity might bring her clarity. That maybe, just maybe, she'd realize who was always there for her. So when Christmas came and she came home, I thought, this might be the moment. But what happened at that dinner table changed everything. To be continued.